Hello guys. So I'll be taking today's session. My name is Ashwin. We're going to be having a very simple session today on a bit of parkour mechanics, which I'm be covering on in Unreal Engine 5. So let's get started. I'll be switching right now. Yeah, so basically, we're just covering basically replicating two mechanics in games. And what I want you guys is to try something out by yourselves. It's just gonna be like a simple mechanic where um, you're at the bottom and you have to climb up to the top. So just give me 1 second. Do I navigate? Yeah, here. Uh, yeah, something like that. So. Yeah, am I audible, I guess? I think it's better right now. Sorry about that. There's some network issues due to which I have reconnected back. And yeah, okay, I'll just give a recap of exactly what I was talking about, and I'll kind of like you guys can understand what I was trying to do is I was giving you guys tips that would help you create your game projects better for all those who want to create projects. So the first place to go for projects is your Kit Bash 3D. They're like some kits which are for free, so you can search for them and just like download all of these assets and use them in your software. As you can see, this is a very high quality asset which is used in AAA rated games, and this is very good for making a lot of environments in your games. As you can see over here, so like you can see the photos of the environments you created using these assets. And there's like a bunch of kits in this. If you're interested in purchasing them, then you can do so. But yeah, and the second place to get props for your games is Sketchfab. You can use this just like as a placeholder till you get your actual assets modeled. So that while in development, you can actually use like a basic sword mechanic instead of using like a cylinder or something else for your bow and arrow or your swords or staffs or stuff like that. This is like a much more cooler version of that, and it's most of them are readily downloadable. You can go for like a simple medieval sword and use it in your games. Um, but yeah, so these are the two things at two places that you can get free assets, and I'll be going in depth into Mixamo a bit more later because I'll be explaining how you can take animations from here and use it inside your game. And yeah, so and the last thing, marketplace. I hope that you guys were able to hear this part. But yeah, in your marketplace, you can kind of like use buy assets like this if you want to buy them, or you can. There are like a lot of free assets every month which you can use. There's like this one called Endless Random Procedural Worlds plugin. Basically, if you just use this, you can randomly generate procedural worlds for your games and a bunch of other plugins like that. If you want to see the list of plugins I have, and these are like all of the assets and plugins that I have in my engine. I can just like add it to any project. Like suppose if I want Infinity Blade effects, I can just select this and I can add it to any one of these projects that I have. Or if I want to add it in my G2M project or Ghost Recon project, I can just add it over there. But yeah, so these are like super easy assets which you can use in your game, and they're available for indie developers as well as other developers, game developers. You can use these assets in your games. And yeah, so getting into the project, I've opened a basic project, no templates, nothing. I'll just explain how you can do your first FPS template into this game mode. And yeah, so go to right click on your folder from your content. You have games, starter content. I created the games folder. You can just right click and create new folder from here. And then from here, I've created three new folders: blueprint, maps, and meshes, because I know I'm going to be using these three. Inside my blueprint, I just right click and I go to blueprint class and create a game mode base. And I'll get this blueprint which I'm using over here. Along with game mode base, I want to create a character blueprint because obviously we are having characters. I'm going to call this parkour character. And yep, so I'm just going to be saving this. Save. Take a little bit of while. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing the world, closing the world partitioning window because I'm not going to be requiring that. I'm going to be saving all of the assets that I have over here. Uh, okay, just let me know, guys, in the chat if it's still buffering or something like that. Then I will try to help you out somehow. Just, yeah, just let me know if there's any problems with the stream. Okay, I'm monitoring the live chat. So yeah, moving on. Okay, so we created our first like character, and also we created a parkour game mode. And now I'll be showing how what we're going to be using in these two game modes. Um, so okay, um, I'm gonna go inside my parkour character for now. And the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be selecting my mesh. You'll get this inside your viewport. I'm going to be adding my camera over here because obviously all like you need a camera for your character. So I'm just going to be placing it a bit above, and I don't want it to move this fast, and kind of like use this a bit here, something like that. Yeah, I think this works. This is perfect. And now I've added a camera, and now I'll be showing you how you can add inputs to your games. Probably you might guys have not seen this before. So under in your new map, you can either go over here and select project settings under settings, or you can go to edit and select project settings. This will be there in Unreal Engine 4, I guess, this way. I'm not sure if this button is there, but yeah, you can do it over here. And if you guys remember all of these settings as well, material quality and engine scalability levels, as you can see, I've set it to medium for now, but then normally it would be at epic. But yeah, so you can set that so that it can run smoother on your game. And yeah, as usual, I'm going to be saving this on success so that every time I press compile, I don't need to press save again. And yeah, so I've added a camera, and you'll get into this window when you click on settings, project settings. You'll get into this video, navigate all the way down to input, and create an action mapping. You can just click on this plus icon over here. You'll get to an action mapping. I'm going to be calling this my jump action, and along with that, I'm going to be using my space bar for jumping. So I'm going to be clicking space bar. Yep, so um, this works perfectly. Now, along with that, I want some axis mappings as well. What is action and axis? I'll explain that. So, action is it gets called every time you click a button in your game. If you want, if you press the F for the escape button, or if you press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it should do a particular action. That is what you use for action mappings. But in axis mappings, it's a bit different. So axis mapping is related to your controllers, like your camera movement. So when you move your mouse in the X direction or in the Y direction, it's not. what do you say? It's not just a one click and it will happen. It is something that happens over time, like not over time, but over how much distance you move your mouse or your controller's analog stick to. So this is where axis mappings come into play, and this is where action mappings come into play. So for our axis mappings, I want to create a forward slash backward uh, kind of a key. Along with that, I'm going to be adding my W, and here I'm going to be adding another key right into this so that you don't have to make two keys for WASD, and let's just make this -1. This is like another trick or shortcut that you guys can use. Otherwise, if you want, you can just write one action map axis mapping for forward, have it as W, the other one for backward, and have it as -1 for the scale. Um, this is going to be a look underscore left underscore right. Commonly make it as it is. And here I'll be using my mouse X as I told you. This will be detecting your left and right based on your X axis. And no wait, I'm going to be adding another axis mapping for looking up and down. Up underscore down. So this is gonna be your mouse Y. So, yeah, as you can see over here, and the scale will be -1 because otherwise your game will be inverted because when you move up, your character will actually look down. It's some weird ass thing, but yeah, you can just like change it over here, or if you want, actually, you know what? I'll show it to you when we develop our character, and then you can see how it is. And yeah, so I'm going back into my parkour character, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be deleting these two. I'm just going to be using gradient play a little bit later. But right now, what I want to create is I want to get my forward backward first axis here. I'm going to be using doing this first. From here, I want to add. I need to get control rotation. Um, get forward vector, and from here I want to get add movement input. So I'm just going to be dragging it into from here, movement input. Um, the world direction would be the direction in which I'm going forward, and the scale value will be my axis value, and the target would be self because we're moving the character. So this is the blueprint for my forward and backwards, and for my left and right, we're going to be doing a similar thing. Just look for that. Look left, right. Here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having add control. Left and right means yaw. Okay, so for those of you who do not know what is pitch, yaw, and roll, I'll just give an example of what it is. So, um, I think there was something over here that would help me. Pitch. Okay, no, it's not here. Alright, no worries, it's completely fine. But yeah, so what is pitch here and roll is nothing but another way of explaining. This is your z-axis, your y-axis, and your x-axis in terms of these. But then when you want to define for your rotations, so this would be your pitch. As you can see pitch -40, -20, -10. That would be a pitch. This would be a roll, which would be your y-axis part, and this would be your yaw, the z-axis part. So pitch, yaw, and roll basically means like this. So if you want to look um, left and right, you would want to add in movement input to your yaw. So that is why we are going to be adding it over here, and we're going to be using the axis value as our yaw input, and the same thing for our forward and up and down. Yeah, you can see look up down. I'm going to be adding controller pitch input. Now if you don't know which one to add, just go over here and see like, okay, I want to look up and down, so I have to do this, so I'll have be having to change my pitch, and then just plug it into the pitch. And yep, so this is like your basic character has been set up. But yeah, I'm going to be showing you how you can do a double jump using blueprints as well right now. Because I mean, obviously, when you do parkour, you want to have some kind of like double jump kind of mechanic. So, uh, I'll just let's just see if this existing code works or not. Okay, yeah, I forgot. We need to do something before we move forward. So I'm just gonna be zooming in a little bit more closer here into our open world level. And yep, so as you can see over here, I am gonna be adding, not from here, but from here, a player start from here. I'm just gonna be dragging it, go pressing F so that you can see the player start a bit more clearer. So yeah, I've added a player start over here, and along with that, in our map, what we're going to be doing is in our world settings, we're going to be overriding it to our parkour game mode. And inside our parkour game mode, we're going to be changing our default font to our parkour character. Got to do this, otherwise you will not be able to execute the game in this mode. And also along with that, in your project settings, as you can see, my tab is still open. In under maps and modes, you can just change your default game mode base into parkour game mode because you're going to be mentioning your entire game mode, yeah, all of the rules of the game inside this game mode. So yeah, so that's the gist of it. And yeah, so if I now play, as you can see now, I can move backward, forward. I can't jump. I can't use my A and D keys because we're just moving. We just want a lateral movement, going forward and backwards. If you want to, you can always increase the speed. You can just probably just take this, put a star, multiply, and have it like, okay, I want it for probably 10 times the speed as I am going right now. You can do that, and just save, and then try again. Probably this time it should work. Yeah, as you can see, it's a bit more faster. Not very evident, but yeah, it is a bit more faster. But yeah, you can play around with this value. I'm just gonna be removing this. Showed you a way to do it so you guys can edit it to your like however you want it. And the next important thing that we need to add into our game is we need to select the camera from viewport and look for this. Use pawn control rotation. This is important, otherwise your game will not work. And so once you have done that, let's just add. That is why your camera wasn't working then. So now if you play, your camera should work, right? So you can move left and right, but when you move your mouse up, the camera goes down, and when you move your mouse down, your camera goes up. So this is why I told you that we need to change this from 1 to -1. So let's change this back to -1. So now you can understand why we had to move in the opposite directions, and now it is completely perfect. So now you can move in up, down, and you can look anywhere you want and move in that particular direction. So yep, and now let's implement the double jump mechanic into our game. So obviously the first thing we need to do is we need to call a jump action. So yeah, that's a difference. In your input forward backward, you will have an axis value that would be like you know what? I'll just show you how an axis value looks like. So it's going to be using print string, and I'm going to be just plugging this directly into this. As you can see, Unreal automatically converts my float into a string data type. And now if you can just see while I play, um, it's now 0. When I move up, okay, wait. Oh yeah, when I'm moving forward, it'll go 1. When I'm moving backward, it goes -1. So this is what how the WS keys works. This is how your access values work. If you don't want, I show it. It looks much better if I use the mouse's access values rather than the WASD keys. So I'll show you how that works. And plug it in, compile, save, and now run. So now as you can see, as I move my mouse, there is a lot of numbers, a weird numbers that comes into play. So you can see how what axis value means in this case. So if you move like to the left, it comes in a positive value. If you move towards the sorry, if you move towards left, it'll come in a negative value. If you move towards right, it'll come in a positive value, which is why you don't need to change the scale for this. This is how mouse X works. So, uh, um, so that's how the mouse X and mouse Y axis value works. But now we're going to be jumping into the jump mechanics. So just search for jump. And yeah, as you can see, I have an action input action event. Here, as you can see over here, it is execute and access value. But over here, it is pressed, released, and key. So the key is like you can get a lot of things you can like get input uh, time, hold down. Okay, I don't think that's available here, but yeah, you can use to do a lot of things like you want. You can check which key is pressed and stuff like that. What is the structure and stuff like that. But I'll just move on, jump in directly into this thing. Um, on released, you need to look for this node called do n. It'll not come immediately, so you can just like search for it down. Yeah, as you can see, I found it. Do n. Just search for this particular node, and yeah, since we're doing a double jump, obviously we need to do it twice. And there is an event on landed, so we're gonna be using that to reset our double jump. Okay. And on releasing this, we're gonna be stop jumping. That's like a complete function that you can just directly use. You don't have to make it by yourself. But okay, yeah. So this is written in C++. See, this is not written in Blueprint. So this function it'll open up in your Visual Studio rather than here. And then when you exit, you can or upon exiting, let's use a switch on int, and obviously this is going to be our counter. And yeah, so basically we're going to be having 1 and 2, and on every time you press it once, you will have look for this node called launch character. And your launch velocity is your amount of jump that you want to add. You can I'm going to be setting it to like 300, and I'm going to be doing the same thing on 2. And yeah, on 0, do nothing. And yeah, so this will be like the basic logic that we'll be going to be using. Let's see if it works. Okay, it's just loading. It's buffering a little bit over here. Just give it a little second time. Okay, wait. I think that's because my Visual Studio is also opened up. So let me just go ahead and close that. Yeah, as you can see, my laptop is a bit um, cumbersome today. It's kind of like not loading much. But yeah, now I'm playing my game. Now if I press once, I can jump, and if I press twice, I can double jump. But as you can see, the velocity is not that great. So if you want, you can like increase the velocity for this. I'm gonna be doing it at 500, I guess. Let's see if this works. Make it feel more natural. Yeah, so this feels a bit more. I'm getting a bit more jump with this, and yeah, that feels great. So if you want to add more jumps, if you don't want to add double jump, if you want to add like a triple jump, you can just add number 3. Like if I do it 6, and but then I'll have to generate 6 pins over here and connect all of them to launch character. So basically, this will be like in Valorant, if you know Jet's updraft, right? So it'll be like that. So I'm just going to be pressing spacebar again and again until I jump down. So this is kind of like a weird mechanic, if you would ask me. If you can even manage the time like this, or like soften your blow or something like that. But yeah, we're not going to be using 6 of them. We're just going to be using the 2. So I'm just going to be setting this back to 2, and I'm just going to have Yeah, okay. So someone asked if you can change the download acceleration. Mostly that is done through your Unreal Engine's physics system. So the best way and the fastest way to do that would be to increase your physics of your actor. So probably you can see that um, in the mesh, you can have a little bit more on your dampening, your linear dampening and angular dampening, and kind of like your uh, just let me check exactly where I can find what I want to find. Okay. Okay, I'm not able to get that part, but yeah, this is basically inside your mass. You need to, yeah, here, I think, yeah, center of the mass scale. So probably if I make it probably around 10 and see, it should kind of like move a bit more faster. As you can see, the movement's a bit more rigid, but yeah, you can, it does, there is a little bit change in the acceleration as you fall down, then compared to when you're having your mass to be uh, of like scale of one. So you can change it over here itself, or if there's another way, I will get back to you on that. It's just, but yeah, I will certainly check this out. But yeah, this is like the basic thing that you can do. Basically, it affects your character mesh, and then all of that will fall along with it. But yeah, if you want to increase, you can. If you're thinking about decreasing the acceleration rate, there is a couple of things that you can do. Like, for example, inside your event graph, there is going to be a node here. So, what I can do is uh, character movement, set gravity scale. So this is a scale of the gravity that's going to be influencing on you. So it's a float value from 0 to 1. So probably you can have a bit of changes to that. Okay, wait. Yeah, it works. I'm going to be having it to be like zero point 0.5. Oh no, let's see, zero point 0.2. Let's see how this goes. As you can see, there's very minimal effect of gravity. It is there, but it is like I'm pressed it only twice, and I got that much amount of height. And as you can see, I've gotten only this much amount of height, and it's still going up. But yeah, so this is how you can like influence your gravity if that's something you want to look for. Like those anti-gravity jumps and all in Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare and stuff like that. But yeah, so this is like something else in your parkour mechanic, or you can have this as an ability as well. Like suppose you want to reduce gravity of yourself when you are in a for like 5 seconds, so you can use that, set the gravity scale for 0.5 seconds, and then after 5 seconds are done, you can set it back to one. So this is another way, so another thing which I you can do. But yeah, so now what I'm going to be explaining is ledge climbing. So for that, I will show you what I have made over here and how we're going to be implementing it over there. Okay, just give it a second. Yes, as you can see, my blueprints are a bit messy over here, but it works. So it works, just like how programmers, say. But yeah, just give it a second. Okay, something is pretty weird in this. For some reason, I'm not able to. Uh, okay, I go. Okay, that is super weird. I'll just close this blueprint and try it again. I don't know. Sometimes, some problems of Unreal Engine just happen like that. It's best to like close a project and try again, but that is something that will take time. So I don't want to get into that. Okay, I think that editor has gotten a bit hanged. Yeah, it works perfectly now. See, it only doesn't make sense half of the time. But yes, I'm just going to my blueprints and get my parkour character from here. Okay, yeah. So now we're going to be moving into a ledge climbing mechanism. This is a very, very basic and probably rudimentary mechanism that I've created over here. There might be like tons and better ways to do this, but and if you guys have any other way to do it, you can just let me know. But I'll be showing you the way that I'll be doing it over here because it's a bit basic, but yeah. Also, before I move ahead, forgot to let you guys do this. In your event begin play, I did mention you had to set this. Uh, Set plane constraint enabled. So basically, that would be just making sure that your character would be constrained to a particular plane or something like that. So I'm just going to be enabling this because I want it to be constrained to my plane of my landscape. So this is just a small update that you can do in your blueprints. But yeah, so along with that, I will show you how you can do your ledge climbing. So open up an event tick, search for it, event tick. You'll get this node. The reason why I'm saying this is a very rudimentary method is because I'm employing the use of eventic, which is something that I don't want to do, but I didn't find any other way for it right now, so that's why I was forced to use this. But it's basically what I'm going to be doing is with an eventic, I'm going to be starting a line trace by channel. And what is this line trace by channel is that I'm going to be using this to check for a particular ledge in near me, and if that ledge is having an attribute to it saying that yes I can climb this ledge, then I'll be using that ledge to then I'll be climbing that ledge and I'll be doing a lot of code running behind it. So in order to check that, first things what I want to do is in my under my mesh, I'm going to be adding a scene component. You just search for scene, and over here I'm going to be naming it as what did I name it here? Okay, uh, end wall climb. It's going to be naming something, and yeah, as you can see, if I click on this, and I can drag it a bit forward. So I want to do my line tree still over here. Like when it's like really near the character, then only I should climb the wall. And so then coming from here, I'm going to be using the get actor location because that's going to be my start value for my line trees. Get actor location, and my end is going to be get wait you get this, and with this I'm going to be getting world location, and I'm just going to plug this into the end value, and that's it basically. This is my faster setup of line trace, and from here, yeah, actually I'll do this as well. For duration as my draw debug type, that is that how long will this line trace exist, and from here I'm going to be breaking my hit result. So what is this? Is basically this is recording the properties of the hit. So every time this line that you have in your game, so I'll show you how the line trace works. So as you can see this like red lines? So that is your line trace by channel. and it is like always happening at a particular distance in front of me at every single frame of the second. So that is why that's why I don't like using line trace a lot, but I didn't find any other way to implement it. But yeah, so basically every time this red line hits an object, I want it to do some things for me. So just before that, I think I should increase the length of the line trace a bit so that it looks much better. And yeah, moving back here, event graph. So every time I hit, this is where I'm going to be getting my hit actor. And from my hit actor, let me just quickly reference the code that I'm using here. Yeah, okay. So from my hit actor, I'm going to check if it is valid. Not this one, the other valid is valid. So basically, this function detects if you have hit an or if you have hit something or not. Again, okay. Uh, I made a mistake of double clicking it twice, so my editor is gotten hang. Kind of like I'll remove this again. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why that happens. It happens quite a lot of times. But yeah, just give it a second. Yeah, so yeah, it loaded up, but I closed it immediately, so it closed. I'm just going to be minimizing this. And from here, I'm going to be checking with a branch. If it's valid only, this should execute. And what I'm going to be checking, as I have mentioned before, is that we're going to be checking if that particular actor has an attribute. So here I'm going to be using that attribute as to be a tag, and I'm going to be writing ledge as my attribute over here so that I can know that okay, this is something that I can use to climb up with. And along with this, obviously there has to be uh, what do you say, a way to check if like which key you can use to execute this climb up mechanism. So for that, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be getting my player controller. From here, I'm going to be checking, I'm going to be getting my input key down, get input key time down. And with this function, you can check for how long which key is being used for. So for this, I'm going to be using shift because when I want to climb or kind of like use it in a game, I want to hold my shift button at the same time so that then only I'll be able to climb a ledge or something like that. So with that, and also at the same time, I'll be creating a variable. I'm going to be calling this give uh, wall climb time and actually, check climb something like that. Basically, I'm going to be saving this as a float, and I'm going to be using this um, as a reference to check if I can climb or not. And if it's false, I want to set it to zero. If it's true, I wanted to set it to this input key time down. And along with that, I first check if it's not equal to zero. So you can do a not equal to sign and check if it's not equal to zero. I'm just going to be using a branch over here and checking it. And if it's not equal to zero, I want to check one more thing. So I'm going to be checking um, if it's going to be less than or equal to, uh, actually greater than or equal to probably 0.7 ish. Basically, if I hold the shift key for like 0.7 seconds, I mean, more than 0.7 seconds, then I want to do the jump. So that's kind of like saying I want to do like I need to hold to climb, do my ledge climb. So again, I'm going to be using my branch key over here. So I'm going to be using branch here and I'm going to be connecting this to my condition. And from here, what I'm going to be doing is, so I've checked it. Yep, this works perfectly. And since we do not have any animations for now, I'm just going to be setting this launch character over here and I'm going to be increasing the velocity of it, something simple. And obviously, we're going to be overriding these two as well so that their inputs do not come in when you're launching your character. And yeah, so this is basically a very rudimentary implementation of a ledge climb system. Okay. There are a lot of ways that you can upgrade this, but kind of like this is something that I came up with, just so that we can use it like properly. And along with that, I'll just check if there's anything else that I missed. Okay, I don't think I missed anything. Oh yeah, yeah. There's one more thing. Like when I'm climbing, I want to make sure that while I'm climbing, I do not want it to influence my camera look setup or something like that. So what I'm going to be doing with that is over here, I'm going to be getting my wall climb, I'm checking if it is equal to zero. Sorry, used an add function over here. I have to use an equal, and here I'll be using a branch again, and only when it's true I wanted to like when the time is equal to zero, then only I wanted to do this. If it is not equal to zero, um, then I don't want camera input at that point of time. So that's why we have set it to be as it is. I'm going to be plugging this condition again over here. Yeah, so this is like the gist of my of the wall climbing technique. You can play around with this basic blueprint and add upon your own kind of a wall climbing mechanic. So yeah, so again, just give it a second till it loads. Actually, we forgot to add a shape, so I'm going to be adding a cube over here. Kind of like increases in size a lot. Yeah, I think this much is enough for like a basic starting wall climb thing. And from here, I want to drag out this and increase the size to be of this much. And I'm going to be dragging another one out and making this also to be of some height. And you can like continuously do this over and over again. I'm going to be dragging another one out and making some kind of platforms for my game to move in. And yeah, so this is like like a kind of like a very easy ledge climbing platform which I've created. And yeah, so you select all of these platforms using your shift key. And in your details panel, look for tag. And I'm go in your tag. No, wait. Okay. Yeah. So in your tag over here, if you remember where we had used a tag, yeah, here we are given the name of ledge. So I'm just going to be copying the same tag from here and I'll be pasting it here. And at the same time, I'm going to be doing the same thing with this so that there won't be any problems. So, but then yeah, so this is how I'm going to be implementing my ledge climb mechanic, and let's see if this works. I just hope it does work. Okay, okay, I think we made a mistake, and that would be putting the player state inside this platform. So let's kind of like remove. Okay, wait, there's the player star. There's the player star. So yeah, now removed it. Now you can kind of like play a bit properly. Okay, so here this is just my double jump mechanic. I'm just using my double jump mechanic to climb up. So if I want to climb, yeah, this is my ledge climb up mechanic that I've used. Okay, I think for some reason this is not resetting it. Uh, Hit object, ledge, trace. Okay, it should work. Yeah, I think we made made it a bit too powerful, I guess. But yeah, so you got the gist of it. This is just like a very rudimentary kind of like an explanation to how you can make your climbing up mechanic. And you can just play around with this blueprint if you want. I can send you this project that I've created, or you can create it by yourself and kind of like play around with the values and stuff like that till you can get like a proper understanding of the game. So let's try something else. Instead of let's shift, let's see if it works with the space bar. Just like how you guys have experiments, I'm also experimenting with this. Um, for some reason, this is not getting resetted. So, okay, let's see if I have missed. Okay, okay, I think I got the thing what happened here. I think this should have been a less than or equal to 0.7 second node. Yeah, I think as soon as I'm doing this, it's not letting me climb up for some reason because of this. It's kind of like detach these two right now and see if it works, even with that. Yeah, it works. Okay, yeah, this is perfect. But so yeah, so this is how you get a gist of how you can climb. If you have a better implementation of this, please let me know. But I hope like this part of the thing can help you out in creating a kind of like a wall climb. You can play around with the values of the launch velocity. You can have it to be of 500, 800, or something to match your designs and stuff like that. But this is the basic thing that I'll be doing. And along with this, I'll also be doing a small ladder climbing mechanic, ladder pipe. You can do anything you want with it. But yeah, so I'm going to be creating a blueprint. I'm going to be calling it. I'm going to make an actor blueprint. In fact, I'm going to be calling it my client blueprint. And in my project settings, I'm going to be making another action mapping, and I'm going to be actually this is an axis mapping. I'm going to be making an action mapping, and I'm going to be using F as my action. Okay, wait, no, this made one for the jump. I want one for completely new one. So I'm going to be naming this climb, and I'm going to be using F for this. So F, and yeah, as you can see, it's done. You don't have to save anything in project settings. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to be calling that input action climb. And yeah, as you can see, I'm just going to be referring the code over here so that it can help us. So I'm going to be creating two new variables over here. One is using ladder, other one is near ladder. Now I'll be showing you where we're going to be using these two variables again later on, but kind of like I'll just make it right now over here. And our first thing is to check if our no, we need a branch. So first we check, now we check once more. Our first check would be for if it is near ladder. If that is true, then we're checking if you're using it. If both of them are true, then what we're gonna do. So the logic behind that is pretty simple. So if we are not using the ladder, we make sure that we are using it. We're setting that to be true. And if we are using the ladder, we set it to false, and then we set our movement mode to flying. Now I'll explain why we're doing it to flying. But yeah, so it's basically a simple mechanic that we are going to be implementing over here. So this is like the setup for our climb mechanic. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into our climb blueprint. what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding a static mesh. And yeah, so I've got these two assets from Sketchfab. As I said, Sketchfab is an amazing site to use, get assets and props for your game. So I just want to make a ladder asset, I mean, I've gotten a ladder asset which I'm going to be using in this game, and a pipe asset as well. And so yeah, that works. And we're going to be saving it. I'm going to be calling this as my climb object. And along with that, I'm going to be adding a box collision. Yeah, box collision. So first, let's set our static mesh of a ladder. For now, let this be the default value. And along with that, we have our box. So I'm going to be using a box, somewhat center it to be in the middle. And yeah, so now the box works. Just going to be putting this up or right in the middle somewhere. And I'm gonna be using my scale option. I'm gonna scale it till the top of the ladder. I think we scaled it a bit too much. Just reduce it, then move it up. Okay, now this is a bit too small, so let's scale it up a bit more. I think yeah, this works. Let's move this up. Perfect. Yeah, this is perfect. So now we have a box collision setup for our climb object, and I'll be showing you a trick that can help you use this actor again and again in your game. So, um, hmm, okay, that's weird. Compile. Hmm, okay. Okay. For some reason, yeah. Okay, this should work. What is the variable type of this? Static mesh component tag. Okay. And here I want to use the static mesh. I'm just going to be using an object reference and see if this works. Okay, okay, wait. Uh, make this instance editable. Are we getting this? Set static mesh. Ah, yes, this works. Okay. And yeah, so this should work. So basically, we're taking the climb object, we're getting the value of the static mesh of that, and we're going to be in runtime. We're going to be changing the static mesh component that we're having over here. Let's first save all of these assets first. And yeah, so the reason why I did this is so when I'm going to be pulling this out, I'm going to pull this ladder out. And as you can see, I'm having a ladder over here with the box collision as well. So it's kind of like okay, it's a bit too big if I'm right. Let's have it a bit smaller. Just one tiny bit bigger. I think this should work perfectly. Okay, so we are having a ladder over here, and yeah, I think we'll set the ladder to be on this side because I just like it over here. Have this perfectly lined up. And also at the same time, what we can do is we'll add an arrow component, arrow, just to know which is the front part of the ladder. I'm gonna be making this a very bright blue so that it's completely visible. And yes, so let's have the arrow point front to us and have it like somewhere at the center and the bit up. Compile, save, and as you can see, there is no arrow over here. That's why we gotta kind of like rotate it 180 degrees and have it here. Oh, okay, okay. That's the reason why it didn't work. My bad, guys. We didn't take the climb blueprint. Instead, we took the ladder as a static mesh and we were trying to implement that. But no, we got to use a climb blueprint. And yeah, now you can see there's a lot more um, detail in this. Now I'm just going to be increasing the size so that I can reach the top. It's a bit too much. Yeah, this is perfect. Now we have the entire thing set up. So now what we can do is we're gonna be using the box collision that we have over here, and we're gonna be setting that box to be in the from the event graph first. Let's go to the box, scroll all the way down, and use on component begin and on component end overlap. So these are two events that we're gonna be using. So just give it a second and let's open this up. So what we're going to be doing is first we're going to be casting our character. Oh, my bad, wrong cast. Okay, my bad, guys. I do not know why I'm continuously doing this again. But yeah, so we casted to our character, and from the character we first have to set the variable near ladder. So we're going to be setting it to be true, and the same thing we're going to apply over here. It's connecting the same things over here. On end overlap, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting this to false, and at the same time we're also going to be setting using ladder to be false because we're not going to be using the ladder at this point, and we are also resetting our movement mode because that's important. Okay, so we got our movement node, and the character movement part is gonna be as parkour character, and we're gonna be setting this back to walking. Uh, Walking. Yeah. So here, as you can see, this is exact same thing what we have done. Uh, Over here also we had to set it to walking. My bad. I think I made a mistake. And yep, so that's the basic gist of it. And so we've set all of it up. We just have like one small edit to do, and that will be inside our basic movement part. That is our forward and backward. And the first thing that we're going to be checking is our using ladder. We're going to be checking if it is true or not. So we're just going to be getting our using ladder. And we are obviously having a sorry, branch. We're checking if this is true. If this is true, then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting our movement mode. Set movement mode, character mesh, and we're going to be setting this to flying. This is where, and this is how we're going to be setting our mode to flying. And if it's false, then it just goes back and does the same thing again. There's no difference for that. And if it's true, again we have to add a movement input, otherwise you will not be climbing at all. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting a player character first, and from here we're going to be get up vector, get actor up vector. Basically, we just want to move up, right? So that's why we're just getting the up vector, and the scale value will remain the same as the axis value. So I'm just going to be compiling, saving this, compile, save this as well. we got everything done. Now, yeah, so as I was explaining, why do we do this is because then we can just easily change it from a pipe to a static mesh depending on what we want in the game. So if I want a ladder in the game, I can just click over here in the chosen static mesh and change it. If I want a pipe in the game, I can do that. So that's what I have done over here inside, sorry, here inside the construction script, set static mesh. Yeah, so that's the basic gist of it. So let's see if this works. I'm gonna go over here, play. Okay, just give it 1 second. Mhm. Yeah, as you can see now, I'm climbing up and now I've reached the top. There are other cool things as well. If you press F while you're in the air, probably, then also it will stop you from climbing. So, like this. Nope, it didn't. Okay, but yeah, so basically we got the ladder to work. This is how you like your parkour can have mechanics like this. Very rudimentary setup, but it works. It works. I feel so. Yep, so that's it about the basic parkour session. There are like a lot of other things that you can implement, like wall running mechanics, sliding mechanics, but those all come in animations. So before we head out, we're not going to be doing them today in today's class, but at the very least, I can explain how you can use animations in your game. So you go to mixamo.com, and first, obviously, you got to log in. So just log in. I'm going to be logging using an account which I've already created. So it should automatically logging me in. Yeah, I have a lot of accounts. Please don't. No. Yeah. Also, guys, I've sent the attendance form link, so please fill that out. It's on the live chat of in the YouTube channel. Sorry, the live chat of this video. So yeah, as you can see, there's like a bunch of animations that you can use. But first, before we get our animation, let's use a character. I'm going to be using the Vibot, but you can even upload your own custom character that you, if you have a 3D model for that, and export animations of that character. But I'm going to be using the Vibot, and I'm going to be taking the animations of the Vibot, and I'm going to be putting it into my Unreal Engine mannequin. So let's just do that. So I've got my whiteboard, and the next thing that I'm going to be doing, actually, let's just make sure, like, make the animations of this come into that, something like that. So, okay, so let's do something like, let's search for some dancing mechanics. Let's close the other tabs so that this loads up faster. Yeah, as you can see, there's like a lot of dancing stuff, but what better to explain than using dancing mechanics? So let's see, which one do we want? Let's use this one. Looks pretty cool, to be honest. Yeah, I'm gonna be using this. And what I'm gonna be doing is I'm just gonna be downloading this with all the default values. Yeah, and upload one without the dancing, just the T-pose. Just download this. And yeah, so here what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be adding one action mapping. Let's see if this works. It's completely something new, but since I've Done it a couple of times. It should be something that I can implement easily. Let's use the R in the keyboard to do our emote, as we could call it. And in our viewport, in our mesh, can we add a character mesh? Skeleton mesh asset. Perfect. Okay, so let's see if this works. In my meshes folder, I'm gonna be going to my downloads actually. And from here, what I'm gonna be doing is first I'll take the Vibot. I'm gonna be importing that. Choose skeletal mesh. Don't use any skeleton, otherwise it will not work. Don't import any animations because we're just importing the bot for now. And yeah, so just click on import all. That's more than enough. Um, as you can see, it's importing the FBX mesh right now. So yeah, don't worry about all of these messages. It's all fine. Yeah, it's okay. That's no problem. You can work with them, and you can just like save all of these assets. And from here, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be okay. It hasn't saved yet. Okay, let me see. Okay, something weird happened. Oh yeah, it's done. Saved. Okay, now I'm just going to be taking the salsa one. I'm going to be putting that also. Here, use the Vibot skeleton. For some reason, it's showing that it's a ladder, but it's not a ladder. It's just that you don't need to worry about. Import all of the animations, export time, and yeah, that's it. And just import them all. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So yeah, now we'll get back right into this. It's alright. We can just ignore these and move on. Again, so as you can see, there are we have the salsa dancing animation from Mixamo.com. You can see that part also. And what am I going to be doing is I'm going to be using that. And in my parkour character, let's go and let's go to this part. Use F. Oh no, wait, what? Dancing mode. Yeah. And at the viewport, what I'm going to do is use my skeletal mesh asset. I'm going to be using my Vibot 2 mesh. Um, okay. Uh, okay, it has imported with. That's super weird. Mm, okay, how do I? Yeah, okay, let's try this now. Yeah, let's just edit the mesh for now. Okay, let's bring this a bit down and actually scale it by one. No. Yeah, I think this is perfect. Just kind of like bring it up a bit. Now it might look a bit weird because in the mesh it's gonna be like as if you're doing the T-pose all the time because we do not have a blend space setup. But that is alright, I feel. That's no issues. Now just make sure that whatever we are doing, it's back to normal. and compile and save. Let's see if this works. So now what we're going to be doing, hmm, it takes a bit of time, but yeah, as you can see, we got our character. Looks a bit close, like too close for our comfort. So I'm just going to be doing this. And now let's see if this works. Yeah. So as you can see, the character is kind of a bit weird. Because yeah, I'm flying. It's like he's doing a Superman pose or something like that. But um, you can kind of like play around or something. We have to set a blend space and an IK rig for it so that it looks much more better. But just for the starters, I think that works pretty well. And what I want to do is, before I move into the animations part, let's just save all of this first. And this is going to be my animation sequence that I have. Give it a second. Yeah, as you can see, this is my entire sequence, right? What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking this, right clicking on this, create anim montage. Let it be whatever name it is. I'm going to be saving it, and yeah, that's what I need. And from here, I'm just going to be searching for that. Play anim montage. That's what I want. I'm going to be selecting my salsa dancing. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, that's it. Uh, as simple as that. Um, Wait, just give me a second. Do I have to connect this here? No, I don't think so. Okay, let's see if it works. So if I'm right, okay, that is not working for some reason. Why it's not working? Yeah, my dancing note is R, and I just wanted to play my montage. That's it. Okay, I think I should set this to the. Yeah, okay. There's something that's not mixing well for some reason. Okay, I don't know why this is not working right now. Usually it should work. Um, okay, okay, no worries, no worries. See if this is printing it or not. Okay, let's compile, save, and run. Yeah, okay, it is printing. That means it is like executing, but the animation is not executing. Oh, okay, okay. I think I know how to do that. Um, get mesh, get an instance, play montage play. Yeah, then there are like a couple of different nodes for this, so sometimes it does get confusing, but let's hope this works. Okay. Okay, it isn't working still. Alright, no worries. I'll kind of like look through this and see where I'm going wrong and get back. Oh, okay, wow. Wow, so many errors. Okay, see if this works. Yeah, actually, that cleared out the error, but unfortunately, still it's not playing the montage that we want. It's probably because of some reason or something or the other. Okay, no worries. I'll get back to you guys on this. But yeah, this is like the same. Those two functions are the two functions are the ways to play animation montages. Mostly it's because we're using a mannequin and there's a lot of things that we need to set before we use a mannequin. Like if you want to see, like if you see the Unreal's mannequin, it's a much more advanced version of the Mixamo mannequin because there's a lot of things that are missing from there. So that might be the issue why this is not working. But yeah, no worries. I'll get back to you guys. Um, with that, I'll be ending today's session. I hope you guys learned something from this. And as I said, this is a very, very basic blueprint outline, and this took me about 2 hours to explain. So, making a fully fledged combat system will actually take a lot of time. And at the same time, there are a lot of mechanics that you can learn. Like, for example, um, you can just hop onto YouTube and just look up like random channels that you want to see. Like suppose, okay, I want somebody asked me to actually make a grappling hook mechanic, and that is actually implementable. Unfortunately, it will take more than 2 hours to explain it, something like that. But yeah, you can see as you can see Sekiro style grapple hook system or the grappling hook from Ryan Laley. You can just like go over here and try them out by yourself. But yeah, so that's like the basic gist of it. If you guys have any doubts or something, you're always more than welcome to message me, and I'll be there to help you out. Um, but with this, I'll be ending today's session. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there's any doubts or something, as I said, my number's available. You can just message me or something like that. Thank you guys for joining today. And fill in the attendance form as well. That's important. But yeah.